Hello, my name is Jenny Molloy. I work at the University of Cambridge coordinating two synthetic biology initiatives, OpenPlant and the SynBio SRI, which have a focus on open technologies in that field. I'm also a co-organiser of the Gathering for Open Science Hardware, or GOSH, which is happening currently in Santiago de Chile and kicked off last year at CERN in Geneva. And we'd like to talk a little bit about how GOSH and citizen science relate, and specifically how we see GOSH building bridges between citizens and institutions. So I define citizen science as opening up participation in one or many of the various stages of scientific research. And without hardware, there is no science. Instruments, reagents, computers and lab equipment are the platforms for producing systematic knowledge. But current supply chains limit access and also impede creative customisation through high markups and proprietary designs that are compounded by restrictive hardware licenses and patents. Open science hardware addresses part of this problem by openly and freely sharing designs, instructions for building and protocols. As a GOSH community, we feel that expanding the reach of open science hardware within academic research, NGO initiatives, citizen science and education has the potential to increase access to experimental tools and facilitate their customisation and reuse. A growing number of people and organisations around the world are developing and using open science hardware, but a coherent, self-organising international community has yet to emerge that can drive the required social change within institutions, affecting changes to the laws and common practice that will make open science with open hardware the norm. But we're already seeing many of these activities outside of institutions through citizen science and grassroots activities. And we're lucky enough in the GOSH community to have many representatives of excellent citizen, civic and community science, including Public Lab, the DRI Bionetwork Cacteria, and many other participants with a real focus on serving their communities and looking at science outside of prestigious academic institutions. GOSH focuses on the shared values of our participants. And it really emerged during the meeting in 2016 that that's what binds us together as a community, despite the fact that we have many different incentives, many different frameworks that structure our behaviours, many institutions that we're parts of, and many interactions across geographic boundaries, disciplinary boundaries. There are many differences, but we realised that it was that focus on values and what we believe open science hardware can do and change and affect in the world that made us a community. So after GOSH 2016, Max Lieberon and Greg Orstick, two of our participants and now co-organisers, put together the GOSH Manifesto. And you can read the full version on our website. But I think 2 points struck me as being particularly relevant for the idea of building bridges between citizens and institutions. And one of those is the idea that GOSH democratises science by enabling more people and more types of people to take part in and benefit from science. And in that respect, we have very similar goals to citizen science as a movement. We aim to break silos both between disciplines and between types of institutions by bridging different domains of knowledge. With more accessible, lower cost tools, you don't have to be a biologist to do biology or have a degree to do research. Open science hardware decreases the divide between the global north and south, professionals and amateurs, particularly in low-income countries. It puts local knowledge in action and contributes to cognitive justice. And it allows a diversity of values and voices to ask research questions and to make technology. We also believe that open science hardware can empower people to pursue research based on their interests, to pursue research based on the needs of their communities, to conduct research through many forms of support, whether that be financial, personnel, time, material supports, to achieve their ideas at low cost, to understand how their tools work through borrowing, building and sharing technology, to have technological transparency and public oversight, and to build a movement. Now we're building on these shared values to create an actionable roadmap for open science hardware. We hope to make it far more ubiquitous within both the academic and non-academic space, far more accessible, and formalise some of the incentives for people who are developing hardware on a daily basis to publish it for the world to use. and to also think about designs that encompass a much broader range of users than are currently considered. So we feel GOSH offers some important tools for citizen science, and that citizen science is a very valuable part of the GOSH community.